Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 56 today and we are back for a big day with Southampton. We've got the South Coast derby against Premier League rivals Bournemouth before transfer deadline day in just 2 days' time. Our director of football's in charge of that. We're hoping for a little bit more work. There's already been a tiny bit in January. For the short term good, for the long term bad, but we'll have a look at that in a moment. It's a massive opportunity for us, having clawed our way out the relegation zone. I tell you what, we are not playing good football. We are not free-flowing whatsoever, but my word, when we want to, we can defend. So if you're looking forward to seeing a very different side of our game and a big transfer deadline day in the Premier League, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Thank you for all your support since we moved to our new club. A meteoric rise really. Premier League in Season 6 is incredible, something we've never had before. If you want to stay up to date and see if we can avoid the drop, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. Big episodes from Bangor City as well, some big surprises over in that Builder Nation, and the live stream series continues twice a week, and all the links are up in the eye above. You can check the podcast channel out up there as well. We're on the race to 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't checked it out and you are able to, it really does make such a difference. But this episode is all about the ugly side of football, and it is something we are becoming masters at Southampton. And it's quite ironic really, exactly the same tactic we had at Derby, albeit we've tweaked a few individual instructions and a couple of the midfield duties, and we are playing in a very different way. So let's go and have a look at the schedule before we start. You'll see a few new names and we'll look at those in a minute too. But since you are with me, I mean not a lot really. We obviously take out the heavy defeat in the FA Cup replay where we rested everyone for the league. But apart from that, 5 goals scored in 4 games, 3 goals conceded in 4 games. You couldn't ask for much more. It's going to be low scoring, it's going to be tight, it's going to be cagey. And I'm hoping that won't go out the window in the derby. It sometimes does. But let's have a look at the fixtures since you were last with me. A 1-1 draw away at Brighton. We just couldn't hold on. The lads were so tired towards the end. It was a great goal from Lacero to end his drought after 10 minutes. And Kuznetsov got the late goal. We managed to cling on after that. It was backs to the wall stuff. They hit the woodwork. The keeper made a good save. Bednarek cleared one off the line. But we managed to hang on. A crucial point. A 3-0 defeat at home to Liverpool. Haaland with 2 and João Felix for them. You can see from our starting 11 there. Jankovic from the 23s. Patterson's barely kicked a ball. Sommer's a 37-year-old backup keeper. Giroud played out of position on the wing and he was a backup to start with. Youngsters like Allison and Webster off the bench. James Duncan got a start. Not even part of the squad normally in the Premier League. It really was makeshift stuff. But a lot of those injuries are just starting to creep back. And they've perhaps been reflected in our last 2 home performances. A really good 3-0 win at home to Aston Villa. Ikanit Panya got a late third after Ant Folwell got a brace. We need him to be on fire between now and the end of the season. He's leading the line despite being very short, as a couple of you pointed out in the comments. 5'4", but he's diminutive, so I'm hoping we've got superstar quality out of him. But a brilliant performance, good defensively, and some real promising signs. It was followed up by a 2-0 defeat at Chelsea. No shame in that. We rested a few again. You can see Pelmard, the left-footed centre-half, played right back. Tsimikas made his first appearance after injury. Djenepo off the bench did the same. Kavnaki off the bench did the same. And George Dobson, a new signing in as well. We'll talk about him in a moment. And then crucially on Wednesday night, which means a few tired legs today, a 1-0 win at home to Watford. It was an ugly game. The centre-halves were commanding. The left-back Bernardo was brilliant. The keeper, Odysseys, made some blinding saves. Djenepo back, first start, got himself a goal. And Evgen in central midfield covering did a really good job too. But I'm really pleased with where we are at the moment. To be out of the bottom 3 at this point is astonishing. The problem is, it looks like 3 from 4 based on the table, unless we can drag Watford in with us. And that's going to make it hard. After this Bournemouth game, our next 3 away matches are City, Newcastle and Liverpool, and a home game against Tottenham. So that Newcastle one becomes a 6-pointer. We've then got the home game against Millwall. It's a must-win. Really is a must-win in the middle of March. They're bottom by a long way. But this game is so crucial. Bournemouth in mid-table. They've been sort of hit and miss all season. They've become a very good side. 8th, 13th and then 10th in the last 3 seasons. This season they're in the top half again. But they've not been great this month, albeit against a lot of very strong opposition. But before we go and get into that fixture, let's very quickly look at the work that's already been done in this window. Couple of loan deals rejected. There's this young left back they're trying to sign, Arthur Lopez, on a free. He's absolutely useless. Maybe he's got potential, but he's not going to make any difference to us, so no worries for him. Now, the ins look good. They're a couple of really solid squad players, but the outs are a bit of a problem for me. Not so much Jose Perez, we knew he was going. £6 million to Yangzhou, good deal for a 32-year-old backup. But the big problem is Dick McDade here, who's gone to Tottenham for £14.5 million. Now, he's a 16-year-old with real promise. He's got 1-star ability, yes, but 5-star potential, a proper wonder kid. But for now, Dick McDade leads the club, big money for a 16-year-old, and I guess it has allowed the director of football to do some other work with budget remaining. And what we needed, we said, was depth in centre midfield. We didn't need anyone to set the world alight. Our first 11 is strong enough to stay up. What we needed was a bit of depth. And that is exactly what we've got. Some real astute and relatively modest fees for signings. George Dobson from Fulham, £10.25 million. Really good 28-year-old centre mid. Can play naturally in a holding role, in centre mid, and can cover as a ball-playing defender. He's got all the attributes we want. He's an exceptional worker. He's a leader. He's brave. He's got a good engine. He's fairly determined. And he's decent technically. It's a really solid squad addition. And off the bench, just to have that sort of character, it's going to be a real difference maker for us. So I'm looking forward to having him in the squad. I think it's a really clever signing. Another one in a similar bracket is Guido Rodriguez, £5.5 million from Real Betis. So the bid went in for him after Jose Campagna, who we mentioned in the last episode, rejected us. He comes in here, 31-year-old, 3-star ability midfielder, exactly the same. Natural in the holding role, natural centre mid. The opposite type of player, a professional, ball-playing, technical midfielder. Works hard as well, but not the greatest mentally or physically. But if we need to keep possession with 1 or 2 goals up at home, he's your man. And more importantly, between them, they've given us exceptional depth in the middle, and that's exactly what we needed. So delighted to have Rodriguez on board, and I'm sure he'll play a big part, even off the bench mainly, between now and the end of the season. So 2 good ins, 2 good outs. We did lose out on a potentially brilliant in. I'll just see if I can get back to find him. Here he is. Thilo Kehrer, who rejected us for Ajax. He did have interest from Valencia too. Really good German centre-half. But as it is, we can't be too despairing about what we've got so far. It's been a really good window for us. But this is all going to be irrelevant if we lose today's game and end up back in the bottom 3. Newcastle are at home to Spurs, so I'm hoping that Spurs will do our job for us. And as you can see, we've got a few players returning from injury. So we've got Gineppo just coming back. Walker-Peters unhappy because the director of football rejected a transfer bid for him. But otherwise, it's all looking alright. Tsimikas back on the bench. Vegas back from injury. Volkov coming back as well. We're going to be able to strengthen this squad quite heavily. Kovnaki's on the bench today, so Lacero will drop out for Volkov. We've got Dobson on the bench. Rodriguez will come in for young Gilligan. The only other question really is if we keep all these boys in with heavy legs. But with City away being next, I think we can rest people there. So I just want to try and get through this one. What that means is we're as close to full strength as possible. Of course, Tsimikas, once match fit, might come in ahead of Bernardo, but the rest of it is pretty much as you see here. It's Odysseys in goal, Walker-Peters and Bernardo the fullbacks, Bednarek and Salisu the centre-halves. I didn't realise when I joined Southampton, this is the first episode I'm recording since, he then made his league debut for the club at the last weekend in the Premier League. So it was really nice to see. Paulgut, Travis and Ward-Prowse the midfield 3, Gineppo and Evgen the wingers, and Amp Folwell up to 10 goals up front now. And we're going to need 1 or 2 more today. Southampton v Bournemouth, a massive South Coast derby. And I tell you what, our visitors could put us in real trouble. Let's see if we can avoid it. Well, this is some Bournemouth side, isn't it? They've still got the young stars that they had in game, so the likes of Solanke, Cook, Lerma, Kelly, Mepham. But they've also got Emi Martinez in goal, Jesse Lingard, recaptured at West Ham, of course, in real life. Pepe's out there. They've got Ben Davis on the bench. There's some quality footballers here. It's going to be a good footballing side at Bournemouth. But we're going to tell the lads to get out there and impress us. They don't look particularly good here. Just the wonder kid striker who's motivated. So into the first half we go. It's going to be a packed St Mary's. And we need a big performance. Let's see if we get it. Well, I promised you defensive and cagey, didn't I? 39 minutes, first highlight. There's been no shots on target. But it's Bournemouth coming forward worryingly. Solanke's hit the post. It was a pop shot. But it just about beat the keeper and the woodwork. Off the outside of the post, cleared away. And with half of the game gone, no shots on target, 0-0. And I tell you what, I'm not devastated by that. I know the Southampton fans will want to win. But for us, it's about points on the board. We're going to point the finger and say we're not happy. We've got the boys motivated, in fairness. But I'm going to be honest here, I'd be pleased with a 0-0. We have got to find a way this season to grind out results. We sort of said this when we were leaving Derby, and I mentioned it when responding to a lot of you in the comments. We're not going to see the best of this side at the moment. It is all about getting out of trouble. And if we can do that, whether it's draws every week, it's not a problem. It's just about getting the job done. So let's make our first change of the day. Evgen on the left is knackered. I'm going to bring on Panya, who's more naturally an inverted winger, but doesn't matter. We're going to play the same way still. And with 25 minutes to go, we'll keep the rest as it is. No shots on target for us, one for them. Djenepo coming back from injury. He's very tired as well. Volkov will make his appearance on the right-hand side. And hopefully, we just need one moment of magic. It doesn't matter if we play poorly. One shot is all we need. But it's a goal kick for Martinez for Bournemouth. We don't want to throw it away here. Solanke gets up. He wins the header. But it looks like Salisu will get there first. Chance to bring it away on the left-hand side. Chips it into Travis. Can we get them on the counter? Here comes Eric Pulja. Up toward Prowse. Time on the ball. Finds Panya on the left. Cuts inside toward Prowse. Travis is with him. Edge of the centre circle. Out to Folwell on the left. Any magic from the Wonder Kid. 1-2 with Panya. Back toward Prowse. Back to Travis. 25 yards to Volkov. First shot on target. 79 minutes in. And look at those Southampton fans. Do they care we've been defensive? Do they care that Bournemouth have had all of the ball and all of the time in our half? They don't care one bit. Southampton 1, Bournemouth 0. And this has to be the way we get out of trouble. 10 more minutes to go. We'll make our final sub. But you know what? For all the lovely football we played at Derby, for all the high-scoring thrillers, winning gritty 1-0s, my word, it is exciting as a manager. I do love it. Let's see if we can hold on. And this is, of course, where these new signings come into their own. Eric Pulja's tired. He's going to be replaced by Guido Rodriguez. Dobson looking nervous, so we'll leave him for now. He might come in for Ward-Prowse against City, where he just needs to be a dog's body and run around. But Rodriguez in the deep line role, just to try and keep that possession, keep us ticking over. With 5 minutes to go, this could be one of the biggest results of the season. Let's try and get towards stoppage time. We have got 4 minutes added on. So, wing-backs will switch to defensive duties. Bernardo's perfect at it. Walker-Peters good. We are also going to drop Ward-Prowse to a deep line playmaker on support. We are going to drop Travis to a ball-winning midfielder on defend. We're going to get the ball in possession. We're going to be more disciplined. We're going to time waste. We're going to stop overlapping. You guys all know the drill by now. We're going to slow the pace down. We're going to hold our shape. We're going to drop a little bit deeper with the line of engagement. And we're just going to try and cling on. Because this could exemplify everything I was saying in the first 10 minutes. Can we cling on? It is going to be the ugliest, grittiest 1-0 win. And that makes me a very happy man. Southampton 1, Bournemouth 0. Exactly what I told you we wanted to do. And we have nailed it. What a fantastic team. And those sorts of results are going to make me fall in love with this club. We might have left Derby in a really good position. But I'm very, very happy now. Let's skip ahead to transfer deadline day. See if we can get that 1 or 2 more signings over the line. Can our director of football produce some gold dust? And just give us that real kick we need to push ourselves up the table. We'll be back in a moment. Here we go then, transfer deadline day to take part in. A little bit of news from yesterday. Before we get into that though, Lopez, that young left back, did join the under-23s. He's not very good. There was a big offer for another left back. Ajax bidding for Simicas, 17.5 million, rising to 23. I'm surprised they rejected that, but the director of football, Matt Crocker, has decided he's not going anywhere. And all we've seen on this for the last 2 days is an awful lot of scout reports. There's been a recruitment assignment for a wing-back. We definitely need a better backup than Patterson. So let's see what the director of football does. I'm guessing because Kera had a bid the other day, that maybe he'll be looking for a defender. Hopefully we get a better option. And fingers crossed he doesn't make it tense and leave it to the last minute. We'll skip ahead throughout the day and we'll let you know as the action flows in. Another young star on his way by the looks of things this morning. Rob O'Reilly-Storen. Going to Burnley for 4.1 million, rising to 6. The director of football's accepted it. Seems a bit strange. Another very good young player, but not quite got the same potential as the last lad who went to Spurs. So I can understand it to an extent. Maybe could have got a bit more money, but it's more money to spend on the first team. And for us, this isn't a long-term investment. So I'm more than happy with Matt Crocker doing this. The football club won't benefit, but I'm certainly going to. So let's go through the rest of the day, see if he goes, and see if we get to spend that money elsewhere. Well, there you go. That didn't take long. He's gone straight away for £6 million. So that's going to be a good deal for them. 5% of that goes to Grenades, a football club in Antigua and Barbuda. Wow. That's interesting. Certainly an interesting career at a young age. Birmingham have made a bid for Orr, another youngster going. 600 grand rising to $1 million. An 18-year-old right winger. He's got good potential. That seems a bit bizarre to me. He's just selling off all the young players. There's definitely still enough money in the transfer kitty, isn't there? There's 28 million now. Because he sold those two big money youngsters. And we've made over 20 million just for them. So it is a very strange situation. Hopefully, there's one big deal to come. But given the fact that Kerr has rejected us and he's not made any offers since, I'm a little bit suspicious. He must feel we need a player in that position. Why has he not gone for someone else? He's got 12 and a half hours to rectify this. Scott Orr has left for Birmingham. Another £1 million in the kitty for one of our hot prospects. And still no sign of any players in. Another hour's gone. And another frustrating update with no offers made. I got so excited. And look, a 17-year-old, half-star ability, 1.5 potential. He's not even National League North and South standard. He wouldn't make it in our banger under-18s team in the Builder Nation. And he's got a bad personality as well. What on earth are they doing bidding for him? And what a waste of our offer today. Speculation persists Nepo could be leaving. They might well be interested, but no intention of selling. We can use the media to get our director of football to see our message, and that one has got to be very clear because he's a superstar. We have an offer. Who is it for? Is it a first teamer? Offer made for Haidara. We can see it's accepted already. Oh, it is. Oh, this is getting juicy. 28-year-old box-to-box midfielder, 3.5 star ability, 3.5 potential, 12 million up front, raising to 16. Oh, he's a good player. He is some footballer. At Leipzig in real life, has played for Rangers, Strasbourg and now for Manchester City. They signed him for 19 million. And to be fair, he's not played much, but he's done okay when he has. And with Ward-Prowse over 30, with Travis being limited technically, that's a big signing. We've got to get him over the line. And then if we could get a decent right back to back up Walker-Peters instead of Patterson, I think I'll write our survival now. 47.5 grand a week, we'll take it. Gineppo, go and endorse the move, sunshine. And hopefully, he'll be happy. Gineppo has confirmed that Haidara is extremely interested. It's a big, big signing as Haidara is given his work permit. He is joining us on a 3.5-year deal. A wonderful footballer, a quality player. And I tell you what, that's a good deal. Well done, Director of Football. Well done, Gineppo, for his influence. And he's going to be a superstar. 3.5 star ability, up there with Travis, with Paulja, with Ward-Prowse. And he just gives us another top quality option. Gilligan can go back to getting football in the under-23s. And we can start to focus on staying up. Because that is an absolutely massive signing. Now please, just go and get me a better right back than Colin Gartland. That's all I'm asking. Well, this is an interesting one. Not a player I was expecting to see at all. A winger from Brazil, is that? I presume it is the Brazilian First Division. 12.5 million. Nery Campes, I think that is. Left-sided, left winger. 19-year-old Brazilian wonder kid. I tell you what, when you're playing with a Director of Football challenge, you very rarely get a Brazilian wonder kid. The previous series on this channel shows that. But that is going to be a super signing. He would go straight in the team. What a signing this would be. He's out injured for 3 weeks. But that means nothing. This is starting to turn into an absolute delight. Fingers crossed it goes over the line. Let's see. Well, if the Bournemouth result and the performance and the gritty 1-0 got my juices flowing, this transfer has made my day. I am so excited now. This transfer proves that we've made the right move, or has it? What's going on? No! They've cancelled the deal. Why have they cancelled the deal? What's he doing? There's not even a reason why. He's failed his medical because he's out for 2 weeks with a strain. Oh, you're joking. We were about to get our very own Brazilian wonder kid. For £3,900 a week. Are you serious? And you've turned it down because he's got a little strain. Oh no. We've made a mistake. Let's take that all back. There's an offering for Rodriguez instead. The same money as for the Brazilian wonder kid. But he's a 1-star ability left midfielder. I'm speechless. Let's skip ahead. Well, not only have we spent the same money on a Brazilian wonder kid, on a 1-star ability left midfielder from Sheffield United, we're also paying him double the money per week. Absolutely astounding. I hope he's in the under-18s because I don't want to see him. It's not his fault, but it's very frustrating. We've got an hour to go of the transfer window. There's going to be no right back. There's going to be no more players. Tsimikas has picked up another injury. And after all of the excitement in this episode, I'm just completely deflated now. Transfer deadline day is over. A decent day for us, but one that promised to be our best ever moment in this save. And it got slipped away from us at that moment. I'm so upset by it. But either way, if we look at what we wanted at the start of the day, it's not been too bad. A couple of youngsters sold on. Another quality midfielder joins in Amadou Haidara. So the first team has been improved. But if we'd had that Brazilian wonder kid, what could have been? Hopefully, the director of football goes back from in the summer. But otherwise, we're a little bit short of right back. Aside from that, we've got a good squad. So let's go and see when we're going to be back with this Southampton side in pretty good form. If we can grit out a few more 1-0 wins like this one, I think we'll be absolutely fine. We've got a really tough set of fixtures coming up though. The Newcastle one crucial, the Millwall one a big one. I think West Ham's going to be big down there, and I think Leicester are with us too. So that's when we're going to be back. It's about halfway between now and the end of the season. We'll show West Ham away, Leicester at home, or maybe even Sheffield United if they get dragged closer to us. So 2 from those 3, a youth intake to come then as well. But the Brazilian wonder kid's got away, and despite all the positives, that's all I can think about now. So if you did enjoy this episode, the ecstasy, the despair, and everything in between, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily content from 2 long-term stories. Please do make sure you turn that notification bell on to get alerts every time we release a video. And you can find out if we can keep the Great Escape going as Southampton find themselves out of the relegation zone. If we do that, it will have been the right move. We will increase our reputation. But I can't get over the last few hours of the transfer window. And that might come back to haunt us, because I can't promise I won't show my mood on the training ground. You can catch up with all the playlists in the eye above. Bangor City's taking a big turn as well, so please do go and give that one a try if you haven't already. And the podcast channel, as I mentioned earlier, chasing 1,000 now, so please do go and check it out. Please do subscribe over there. It really does make a big difference for us as well. Thank you so much for your incredible support. I hope you enjoyed this bumper special. What a win against the rivals, a very good transfer deadline day. But still, that moment that slipped away could haunt us. I'll see you next time.